Hello and good Sunday evening. I appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. Brandon here with Brandon Growth Lab, coming to you again with another compelling presentation of the three biggest mistakes that small businesses make when it comes to lead generation and how to overcome them all. This isn't the first time doing this, and I'm going to continue doing this pretty much on a weekly basis because I want to reach uh, as many small businesses out there to help them with their lead generation. And tonight I got a special offer for you, so you definitely want to stay to the end to get it because it is something different, something I haven't offered before. So with that, let's go ahead and get started because Sunday night, and I definitely don't want to keep it too long. It's gonna take about 40 minutes or so to go through this presentation, and yeah, there's some good information here. So pay attention, and let's go ahead and rock and roll. All right, we're gonna hit the old shares here. All right, layout. I disappeared. I disappeared. There I am. Here I am. I haven't gone anywhere. All right. So this is what we got tonight. Again, the three biggest lead generation mistakes small businesses make and how to overcome them all. A little bit of housekeeping, real quick. Let's go ahead and put all the distractions away. I'm going to cover a lot of information tonight very, very fast, and you will want to stay with me. Don't worry about taking notes. You'll get a chance to get the full presentation and my speaker notes after this presentation. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Probably won't be able to answer them live, but I will create follow up content or answer them after this presentation is done. So make sure you're following me to see the notifications. Um, so, who am I? A little bit about me. I'm a husband and father of two, and I'm obsessed with sales and psychology and how to make people buy. I have a biochemistry degree from Kent State University, which I know is crazy, but it was a late night infomercial sent to me that sent me down a 12-year rabbit hole studying what makes people buy and how businesses grow. And everything I'm sharing with you today comes from helping real small businesses get unstuck and generate more leads. So, if you've been looking for a simple, proven step by step method to generate more leads for your business, then this presentation is exactly what you need. So, pay attention. This will completely change how you think about marketing. So, I want you to think for a moment about all of the advertising that you've seen over the past week. How many of those ads can you name off? Researchers estimate that you've been exposed to about 117,000 ads based on the national averages. So again, out of those 117,000 ads, how many can you name? I mean, if you're fairly attentive, you may be able to come up with three or four specific ads. But I'll bet that because you see those ads over and over, week in, week out, that you'd be able to remember them. So let's not ignore a key fact of advertising. Repetition works. And when you see an ad over and over again, day in, day out, eventually you're going to recall that ad. You think about nothing, and then all of a sudden that jingle pops into your head, right? But of the ads that you've seen, how many of those services or products have you purchased recently? How many of you guys remember this ad? In fact, they've refreshed it recently. Drop it in the comments if you know what it is. So I'll admit, I personally love the E-Trade baby commercials. They were funny, clever, stood out. It was cool seeing a baby talk, especially at that time. We didn't have things like AI generation and all that kind of stuff to make babies talk. But now, you can do it with a couple clicks of a mouse. And honestly, if one of those old commercials came on while I was in the other room, I'd stop what I was doing and go watch it and because they were entertaining. But here's the important part. And I will admit, yes, I have an E-Trade account now, but it took years for me to sign up. I mean, I think I was in high school when this thing first came out. And when I did, it had nothing to do with the baby. It wasn't the commercial that made me choose them over the other half dozen trading platforms that were out at the time. So I need to ask you this question. What benefit did that commercial offer me as a potential customer? How did a snarky, wisecracking baby help me understand their fees, their tools, the platform, the reliability, why they were a better choice than the competitors? Truthfully, it didn't. And that's the point. Small businesses can't afford to wait years for a customer to eventually wander in because they liked something about the brand they saw 10, 15 years ago. You don't have the luxury of building a decade long, multi-million dollar branding campaign just to be memorable. Cute, clever, funny ads don't pay the bills, at least not for small businesses. So, why does E Trade keep making commercials like this? Well, believe it or not, there is a reason. And by the end of this presentation, you will understand exactly what it is and why it doesn't work for a small business like yours. Because businesses today are told that they need some type of attention grabbing deal, shtick to succeed. Make a funny ad, go viral, get your 15 minutes of fame, do something loud and clever, and leads will just magically pour in. But nothing can be further from the truth. And that's just on the marketing piece. Because even if you did manage to grab the attention, there's still a bigger question. How do you turn that attention into fast, predictable cash flow? Because every small business needs fast cash flow, not suddenly, not eventually, not after a long campaign. Need it now. How do you actually make that happen as a small business owner? And beyond that, what about the profits? Because generating revenue is great, no, but none of it ends up in your pocket at the end of the day. What is the point? So let me ask you this: how would you feel if I could just cut through all this BS hype and give you the proven step-by-step roadmap that actually makes your phone ring? A roadmap that pulls qualified prospects straight into your website and finally shows you how to market your business in a way that works every single time. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do for you during this presentation. I'm going to reveal to you the three biggest lead generation mistakes small business owners make and show you how to overcome them all. All right. So here we go. Mistake number one, they fail to get professional help. Mistake number two, they don't know the fundamentals required to successfully market their business and attract as many new clients as their business can handle. And mistake number three, they have no idea how to use their marketing to generate immediate cash flow. So let's go ahead and explore these three mistakes in depth, and I'll show you how you can easily and systematically overcome them all. Mistake number one, small business owners fail to get professional help. So let me put this into perspective for you. Can you name a single professional athlete who doesn't have a coach? You can't. They don't exist. Tiger Woods had 9 coaches, one for swing, one for short game, one for strength, one for conditioning, even advisors for finance and mindset. If only he had a relationship coach, he'd probably be in a better position, though, right? So, if the greatest performers in the world need guidance to stay sharp, stay competitive, and stay profitable, do small business owners really think they don't need help? That's the mistake, trying to do everything alone. So, remember that TV ad I talked about earlier? Those ads were created by so called professionals. But here's the truth: most people don't realize a lot of these professionals have no idea what they're actually doing. They're following the same old outdated playbook, using the same old tired tricks, and repeating the same mistakes over and over. Everything they're doing in modern marketing is wrong. And I'm not asking you to take my word for it. I'm going to prove it to you right now. If you are currently using any kind of marketing, whether it's a print ad, a brochure, a postcard, a flyer, or even your website, I want you to grab it and take a look at it closely. If you don't have any marketing pieces right now, We're going to go ahead and pause for a brief moment. I want you to grab a sheet of paper and sketch out what you think an effective ad is for your business. Doesn't have to be designed well, just a simple outline where your headline would go, where the image would be, what the main message is, and all that kind of good stuff. I want you to go ahead and right now and do that. We're going to take about 30 seconds here to do that. All right. You got it? I hope you got it. I hope you got it. Okay. So let me provide you with a little known secret that produces more leads than your business can handle. But first, there's something, again, most people don't realize that 99% of the marketing professionals have no idea about the lead generation secrets that I am about to show you. They've never been taught this, they don't use it, and that's exactly why their campaigns eventually fall flat. Once you understand these principles, once you see how they actually work, you immediately step into the top 1% of lead generation professionals in the world today. And the next slide will make it crystal clear. And it will show you exactly why every small business owner needs a proven step by step roadmap before they try to market anything. So here's what a real marketing professional understands and what they will help you implement. It's called the conversion equation. It's the backbone behind every successful lead generation system. And when you apply this equation the right way, you stop competing on price forever. Instead, you finally start seeing selling your product or service for what it's actually worth. The simple framework can increase your advertising response by 10 to 100 times, bring in more qualified leads, and convert at a higher percentage into paying customers. So you're going to get more leads, more sales, more revenue, and a much bigger return on every marketing dollar that you spend. And the bottom line is you will create a profit faucet, one you control completely. Turn it up when you want more business, turn it down when you're at capacity. That is the power of the conversion equation. So, what is marketing supposed to do? So, before we even get into the conversion equation, first we need to understand what marketing is actually supposed to do. And you see it on the screen already, because most people get this completely wrong. I mean, it has three specific jobs. And the first job is to capture the attention of your target market. If you fail here, nothing else matters. Attention is the gateway to everything that follows. The second job is to give your prospect hope. Hope that if they keep reading or listening, they'll get the information they need to make the smartest buying decision possible. Your marketing should teach them how to recognize real value and help them conclude that you and only you offer the best value in your category. And the third job of marketing is to lower the risk of taking the next step. Your prospects should feel safe, confident, informed, and if needed, your marketing should continue to educate them so the value becomes undeniable. When your marketing accomplishes these three objectives, something powerful happens. Your prospects come to one single, unavoidable conclusion: they would have to be an absolute idiot to do business with anyone else but you, regardless of price. So here's a fun fact for you, but it's not really fun. I mean, this is actually a terrible fact. It's estimated that up to 96% of small businesses fail within their first 5 years. I've been in business since 2020. It's going into 2026. I am still kicking because I am doing these things. Okay. And the biggest reason for that massive failure comes down to one thing: they don't know how to generate leads consistently or make the phone ring on demand. Most small business owners have never been taught the three core jobs marketing is supposed to accomplish, which I've already just done. They don't know how to capture the attention, which I hope I'm doing now for you. And they don't know how to create the hope, which if you continue along this presentation, you're going to have hope. And they don't know how to lower the risk and educate prospects in a way that builds trust. You're going to find out that I'm going to be doing that here soon too. And there's another problem layered in on top of all that. One most business owners never even consider. Most businesses use a tactical marketing approach instead of a strategic one. What do I mean by that? Most business owners don't have the evaluation skills or the know how to judge whether poor marketing results from poor strategy or poor tactical execution. Running an ad in the local newspaper, sending out an email or direct mail piece, putting a spot on the radio or TV, those are all tactical marketing activities. And don't get me wrong, newspapers, radio, TV, or direct mail can be incredibly effective channels if your marketing message is powerful and compelling. But that's exactly where the real problem lies. Because the message, the strategy behind the ad is the strategic side of the marketing. And ironically, it's the most uh, small, it's the part most small businesses neglect entirely. Okay. The distinction between strategic marketing and tactical marketing is massive. You need to be crystal clear about any time you think about generating more leads. So you got to be crystal clear about this, about what you say, right? Most companies assume that lead generation automatically means tactical activities. You know, placing ads, sending mailers, picking up the phone, calling people, joining networking groups, setting up booths at trade shows, building follow-up systems, and so on. Okay, it's all needed. You need to do that, but the message to market is the most crucial. Okay, because what happens is like these businesses they fail to realize that the strategic side of the coin. It's like what you say in your marketing and how you say it. It's almost more important than the marketing medium where you deliver that message. If you don't make that distinction, you end up blaming the wrong thing. You get jaded towards a certain marketing channels that should be a part of your tactical plan. But you eliminate them from consideration simply because they didn't work for you in the past. The truth is, they didn't work because the messaging was wrong, not because the channel was wrong. When lead generation results fall flat, small business owners almost always blame the marketing medium. It must have been the newspaper. Postcards didn't work. The platform was the problem. They look at the tactical part of the plan and completely ignore the strength or weaknesses of the strategic message inside the marketing piece. So you hear things like, we tried online funnels and they don't work for our kind of business. Or we mailed 50,000 postcards and only got 3 orders. Direct mail just doesn't work. But here's the reality just because it didn't work doesn't mean it doesn't work. Most of the time, the channel wasn't broken, and the message is. So, this is where our step by step roadmap can generate more leads than you can handle. Okay. For example, most small business owners rely heavily on platitudes in their marketing. They see things like, we have the lowest prices, we're family or veteran owned and operated, we have the best value, the best service, we offer convenient hours. I mean, pull out that ad that you made earlier right now. Go ahead and pull it out. Look at your own marketing. How many of these platitudes did you put in there? Disgusting, isn't it? That's okay. We're going to fix it. Most small business owners have been trained, almost conditioned to believe that this is the right way to market. Why? Because it's the exact same formula that a majority of the advertising out there. Even Fortune 500 companies do it. It's incestuous. It's gross. It's like kissing your sister. Okay, we don't kiss sisters. And here's the problem: as human beings, we're all after the same thing. We're ready to buy the best deal. And when your marketing is loaded with the platitudes and empty jargon, there's no way for anyone to tell who's actually offering the best deal. Everyone claims to have the lowest prices, the highest quality, the best service, the best rates. So, who do you believe? Well, there's only one real way to know. You have to do the research on every single business that sells what you're looking for. How many people have time or the patience to do that? Almost none. So, what happens? People assume that every business is basically the same. Because they can't see any meaningful difference, they default to the one thing they can compare, the lowest price. And that's exactly how businesses get trapped in the destructive price competition. The conversion equation will change all of that for you forever. It's going to be the backbone of your strategic marketing plan. It will be the foundation on which everything else I build for you is based. So, let me give you a quick overview and then spend some time going through it with you in detail. The conversion equation has four main components. First, we must interrupt your prospect. Okay, we must get your qualified prospect to pay attention to your lead generation marketing. Simple enough to say, but more difficult to pull off in real life unless you understand what you're about to learn here. The interrupt is done through your headline if your marketing is in print, or it's the first thing you say if your marketing is through radio or TV. The second component is engage. Once your prospect is interrupted, it's critical to give the reader the promise that information is forthcoming and it will help them make the best buying decision possible. In other words, it must help facilitate the decision to pick you over anyone else. And that's the job of the subheadline. Again, the interrupt is the headline that highlights the specific problem that the prospects are looking for a solution to, and the engage is the subheadline that promises them that you offer a solution to the problem that is mentioned in the headline. Okay, they work together, headline, subheadline. You see it on everything. Sometimes they're reversed, bigger and smaller, etc. But still headline and subheadline. The third component that needs to be included is the education component. Once you've interrupted and engaged your prospects, you have to give them information that allows them to logically understand how and why you solve the problem they're facing. This is accomplished by giving them detailed and quantifiable, specific, and relevant information. Okay. It's just it's the Cardone way. Information, 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 information. This is typically done in the body copy of the ad. When you educate, you need to reveal to your prospects the important and relevant information they need to know when making a good decision, and that your business and your business alone provides it to them. The interrupt and engage hit the prospect's emotional hot buttons. The educate is the logic they need to justify picking up the phone and calling you or pulling out their credit card and making the purchase right there on the spot. So now the fourth and final component of the conversion equation is the offer. Because now that you've interrupted your prospect based on the problems they're having, you engage in the promise, but you engage by a promise of the solution, and they've examined the educational information that makes your solution real and believable. The last step you need to take is to give them a low risk way to take the next step in the sales process. You do this by offering a free marketing tool, such as a report, brochure, seminar, audio, video, or something that will continue to educate them. Your offer will allow your prospects to feel in control of their final decision to call and buy from you. So let's quickly recap. The conversion equation is this. Okay, it's interrupt, engage, educate, and offer, and together they equal market domination. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I don't have fancy sound effects. But that's what you're going to get. If you can do those four things together, you will conquer the local market. Promise you. Okay. But here is the problem. Most marketing today only contains two of these components. They interrupt by throwing something at you that's either familiar, like Taylor Swift, or something unusual, like a giant inflatable monkey or some kind of talking pets. Boy, do I miss that chihuahua. Okay. Or in some cases, they do something crazy and kind of throw both at you. In the case of the E-Trade baby, it's a talking baby. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. So once they grab your attention, they do make you some type of offer, such as call now or whatever. Okay, did you know only 1% of the market is ready to buy at any given time? Did you know that? It's crazy, and you're just wasting money and trying to just get that little 1%. What about the other 98%? Okay, what they're leaving out is the engage and educate. And marketing seldom succeed when that happens, because you're only going after this wee little bit of the market when you have this much. Okay, all right. In fact, the only time this type of marketing works is when you can afford to run the ad over and over again nonstop for an extended period of time. I mean, how many times have you seen these ads? Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, Alka-Seltzer, Alka-Seltzer. Oh, I can tell you at my day and age, I eat more than those like Tic Tacs. Okay. Melts your mouth, not in your hand. M&Ms, right? I try to stay away from those. Too much sugar. And things go better with a Coke. Have literally been rammed down your throat by the Fortune 500 types. Okay. And after hearing these slogans thousands of times, of course, we're going to remember them. But how can small business owners like you, that doesn't have a $1 billion marketing budget, successfully market your business? The answer is you can't unless you follow the entire conversion equation. And here is a simple example to prove it to you. Okay. So what I have to show you here is a couple of classic case studies that implemented the conversion equation and saw great results. The first one I have for you is a moving company that was struggling to get leads. Okay, these are classic case studies. These aren't mine; they're classic ones. I found them in the internet archives. Okay, um, so years ago, this moving company was on the verge of bankruptcy. Okay, they were paying $3,000 a month for a full page ad in the Yellow Pages directory. That's how old this case study is. Okay, it's Yellow Pages. If you're running full page ads in the Yellow Pages, you definitely need to call me. Okay, I, just no. They were averaging just about 70 calls per month. Okay, their conversion ratio was only 16%. So out of the 70 calls every month, they were only getting 11 moving jobs. No wonder they were starving. The reason their ad wasn't working was their failure to follow the conversion equation. I mean, just look at it. They didn't even have an offer to call for a quick free quote. They had no interrupt at the top of their ad whatsoever, just the name of their company. And they just listed the generic Me Too services and platitudes that every other competitor in their area also listed in their ads. Hmm, fancy. So now look again at your own marketing that I asked you about earlier that you drew or that you currently have out there. Does your marketing format look exactly the same as the one this movie company was using? Did you place the name of your business at the top, list your products or services in the middle, along with a layer of worthless and meaningless platitudes such as lowest prices, highest qualities, and best rates, blah, 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 blah? Did you do that? It's okay if you did. It's okay. No judgment zone here. We listen and we do not judge. If you want your phone to start ringing, then you must follow the conversion equation of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. And after connecting with a consultant that knew a thing or two about copywriting and the conversion equation, this moving company redesigned their lead generation ad. And here's what they did. First, they identified the problem their customers had when moving. And without hesitation, it was damage. 72% of all moves resulted in something being damaged. That's the area they needed to focus on and create what is called a market dominating position around that hot button issue. But why is damage such an important issue since all moving companies listed in the Yellow Pages say they are fully insured? Well, it turns out that all movers must be fully insured. But that thing about being fully insured isn't really what it means that you think it means. Okay. The general public really has no idea what fully insured means. When you hear someone say they're fully insured, don't automatically assume that if they break your $5,000 HDTV, they're going to reimburse you $5,000 because I know I certainly would, but you can't because that's not what it means. I'm going to tell you what it really means here. So, legally, a moving company can claim they're fully insured, but it's on a per pound of damage. Crazy, right? The national average is 40 cents per pound. So, in other words, if a mover destroys a $5,000 100-pound HDTV, they're only legally obligated to pay you $40. And unfortunately, the poor, unsuspecting customer doesn't find that out until after the damage has taken place and they receive their minuscule reimbursement. But for this specific moving company, the policy was never an issue because they didn't believe in this deceptive industry practice. They actually provide their customers with what's known as full replacement value insurance. So if they break your $5,000 HDTV, you are reimbursed $5,000, no questions asked. But how can they afford this much more expensive insurance? You're asking yourselves. Well, it was due to their extraordinary three-step packing process that only their company offered. And thanks to this process, their actual breakage and damage totals were below 3%. And what little damage did occur typically involved a broken dish or a plate, relatively minor items that had little or no replacement cost, and certainly no sentimental value that would create an emotional situation with their customers. Their unique packing process allowed them to carry a $5,000 insurance deductible, and their premiums for this superior insurance were actually lower than their competitors for the that their competitors paid for their inferior and deceptive insurance. The three-step packing process, coupled with their superior full replacement value insurance coverage, became their market dominating position. And all that was left to do was position that information in their ad and follow the conversion equation. So, first, they created a headline at the top of their Yellow Page ad that stopped the person looking for movers in their tracks. This was step number one to address the main hot button issue for the problem their prospects were looking to solve, in this case, damage. So, the headline turned into this. Last year, more than $4,000 in damage and negligent lawsuits were filed against. Last year, more than 4,000 damage and negligent, not dollars, were filed against moving companies by outraged homeowners. Now, do you think that headline grabbed some attention when people were flipping through the yellow pages looking for movers? Hmm. You bet it did. It didn't stop there. They engaged the prospect by promising them a solution that was referenced in the headline. In this case, damage prevention. So, what do you think of this subheadline? It's a little bit blurry there. Ask any mover these two questions to ensure you won't be victimized or ripped off by deceptive industry practices. Now, when the prospects read that subheadline, do you think they wanted to immediately find out what those two questions are? Well, of course they did. Next, they educated them by providing them with two questions that the prospect can ask any mover they choose to contact. And these are the two questions. Do you follow a minimum three-step packing process for every item you place in your truck? And do you carry full replacement value insurance? Before they ran this new ad, the budget movers already knew that their competitors' answers to these questions were no, since they had previously surveyed all of them. This ad educated the prospects on the realities of what actually takes place in the moving industry and highlighted this moving company's market dominating position that makes them the obvious choice to do business with. And if you look at the bottom right corner, their offer was a free moving company comparison checklist that highlights the survey they did, showing the prospects that they were the only moving company in town that offered all of these desired benefits. You notice they didn't ask them to call now for a quote because they knew where this ad was in the funnel. People weren't ready to buy. They were going after that other 99% of the market. Imagine that. This made them the no-brainer choice in the moving industry, and the results generated from this new Yellow Page ad sealed the deal. Instead of averaging just 70 calls per month, their new ad averaged 955 calls per month. Instead of a 16% conversion rate, the rate jumped to 68%. Their new ad generated so many new clients asking for their services, they had to partner with four of their competitors to handle the increased volume. And those four competitors bought the company out 9 months later for $2.3 million. And all this from simply implementing the conversion equation in a Yellow Page ad without spending an extra dime or cent. Well, the cent's going away now, so you won't have to spend an extra dime or nickel. So some may think the budget movers got lucky because finding professional help is often frustrating and at times a crapshoot at best. And that's why I wanted to be the one to teach you the conversion equation of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. Okay. The moving company was able to, with their ad, train their prospects on relevant and important issues they needed to know when moving, so those prospects knew what to ask when they sought out the services of a mover. So now that you know the conversion equation, you can use it when seeking out professional help that you need for your business. And you can do it just like the budget movers. Ask the person looking to help you if they know the conversion equation. Simple. Ask them that. And if they can't come up with it, mm, a true marketing professional will know this equation. If they don't, run away as fast as you can. And by the way, did you notice that the information I just discussed also covertly covered mistakes number 2 and 3? Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Earlier, I said the second biggest mistake small business owners make involve the fact they don't know the fundamentals required to successfully market their business and attract as many new clients as their business can handle. Well, now you do know the fundamentals and you can use them to outmarket and outsell your competition. First, you just create the market dominating position for your business and then insert that position into your marketing by following the conversion equation to the letter. And the third biggest mistake small business owners make focus on the fact that they have no idea how to generate immediate cash flow. So when you follow the conversion equation in every form of marketing you do, from your business cards to your company website, the financial results are instantaneous and immediate. So let's check out the next example and put a bow on this presentation. Uh, this is a child psychology case study. Okay. This case study involved Dr. John Smith, a child psychologist who specialized in helping parents with out of control kids. You know, the kids I'm talking about, the ones in the store that are yelling and screaming and throwing a tantrum and completely out of control. In fact, I saw a reel the other day of this little girl in the middle of Walmart threatening to scream because she couldn't get some type of ice cream pop or something crazy like that. I just wanted to be that mom and take the shopping cart and run her over with it. Okay. I'm inherently not a violent person, but that child, I would have been violent for. But these kids, they range from ages 6 years old up to teenagers. And as you can see here, Dr. Smith's original website had all the classic mistakes that are typical in small business today, if the business even has a website. We'll talk about that at another time. He had a name of his practice at the top of his site. The only thing even resembling what you might call a headline said parenting advice and resources from Dr. John Smith. And so, what do you think of that website? Do you think the headline appeals to a parent who's dealing with a screaming, out of control kid? Would that headline hit their emotional hot button? Do they really care about anything at all right now about advice and resources? Or are his prospects looking for a solution to their problem? Hmm. Remember, you must start your marketing with an interrupting headline that's focused on the problem your prospects are experiencing. And then you must have a subheadline that generates um, engagement, promising them a solution to that problem. Okay, you got to do it. Those are two things right there. The first two conversion equations were what? That's the job of the headline and subheadline. This applies to every form of marketing, including websites. Dr. John Smith's website headline, Parenting Advice and Resources from Dr. John Smith, does not address the problem his frustrated parents are experiencing with their child. And to make matters worse, his website had no subheadline whatsoever. So there's no way for him to engage his prospects to keep them interested. In fact, it's doubtful that any prospect visiting his website would stay there for more than 2 seconds, because the latest research shows that typical prospects visiting a website remains on the site for about 3 to 5 seconds. If during that brief period of time they don't find something that looks like it will provide them with a solution to the problem, they are gone for good. And so the third component of the conversion equation says to educate the prospect. This simply means that you must educate them again with what makes your product or service much better than the competition. On a website, this is done with either the body copy or, in Dr. Smith's case, by video. He just made it short and sweet um, because it was the first point of contact. You can then offer much more information once you have them compelled to want to know more about what you do. And the final component of the conversion equation, again, is the offer. It's a low risk, or better yet, no risk offer that gets the visitor to take a specific action, such as request more information, take a test drive, register for a free 30-day trial, or an educational presentation or similar offer. The key here is to make the offer so compelling that it's literally irresistible to the prospect. In fact, you want them to be thinking to themselves that they would have to be an absolute idiot to not take your offer. So Dr. Smith's offer was updated to a white paper titled The Secret for Parents, a special report on how you can learn the secrets of nurturing well behaved children. Yeah, there's a problem there. His prospects don't have well behaved children. They have ones that are kicking, screaming, yelling, cursing, belligerent, back talking, and completely out of control. Nurturing a well behaved child is not the solution they're looking for. Getting their kid under control right now is what they're looking for. And so, can you see why Dr. Smith's website failed him in every area? The site wasn't building his business. It wasn't helping him generate any leads, attract new clients, or generate any additional revenue for his practice. It simply just didn't follow the conversion equation. So Dr. Smith got some help, changed his website up to follow the proven step-by-step roadmap. He placed a headline at the top of his site that said, "Are you sick and tired of the yelling, screaming, and belligerent attitude of your child?" So would you say that headline hits a major hot button for virtually every prospect that comes to the site now? Do you think that these prospects, in the moment they read that headline, will immediately think to themselves that they've just come to the right place where they can find the solution to their problems? In other words, did this headline just interrupt Dr. Smith's prospects? Well, of course it did. So let's go ahead and engage those prospects by promising them a solution in the subheadline. It says, now you can discover the secrets to controlling your child and instantly restore peace and quiet in your home. Peace and quiet. Isn't that what prospects want? And will do almost anything to get it? Absolutely. See how the headline and subheadline work closely together to interrupt and engage every single prospect that comes to the site now? It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful site. So now that they're engaged, the video can spend 1 to 3 minutes educating the prospect about the fact that the good doctor has the solution they so desperately seek. And this offer has been changed so that it's not only more relevant to the prospect situation, but also compelling and is virtually irresistible. The offer says, learn the secrets to gaining and maintaining complete control of your child in less than 60 seconds. Show me just one prospective parent visiting the site that won't download that report. They all will. And when they do, Dr. Smith captures their contact information so he can continue to keep his prospects informed until they are ready to buy his services. This revised site exploded Dr. Smith's business to unprecedented levels. Now, if you have a website and implement the conversion equation, just like Dr. Smith, you too will have substantially higher engagement and conversion rates. So to quickly recap, these are the 3 biggest mistakes small business make when it comes to generating leads. They fail to get professional help. They don't know the fundamentals required to successfully market their business and attract as many new clients as their business can handle. Number 3, they have no idea how to use their marketing to generate immediate cash flow. Now, here's the conversion equation. Now, here's how the conversion equation can help you systematically overcome all 3 of these mistakes. The conversion equation contains the fundamental components you need to ensure your business is successful from this point forward. The conversion equation will make your phone ring and position your business as the dominant force in your market. It provides the marketing foundation that will enable you to generate immediate cash flow, and you can use this information as a minimum standard when seeking out professional help for your business. So when you overcome these 3 biggest lead generation mistakes, you will generate all the leads your business can handle and turn your dreams of owning a business into reality. Okay? Not just working in it, you will actually own the business. So you want proof? I want you to answer this one question. If I could provide your business with a lead generation system that would create such an outrageous, lopsided advantage in your favor that your most affluent customers will beat a path to your door to buy what you sell without even asking how much it would cost, would you be interested in a 5-minute phone call with me? Because here's what I'm prepared to do for you. I'm going to get you a professionally written custom lead generation funnel built for you, complete with compelling headlines, persuasive copy, and irresistible offer designed to make your phone ring. You're going to receive a done for you marketing asset that follows the exact same proven formula that took the struggling businesses from feast or famine to consistent, predictable lead flow. And you're going to start generating qualified leads immediately with a funnel designed specifically for your business, your market, and your ideal customers. And you're stop wasting money on marketing that doesn't work and finally have a lead generation system that you can scale and control. And you're going to pay absolutely nothing for this custom funnel. Okay. You will have to pay hosting. You're not going to pay me anything. Okay. But you have to pay hosting for this funnel. We can discuss that on the call. The only thing that I ask from you is that if it works, which I know it's going to work, you will share your results in a brief 1 to 2 minute testimonial. So if you just give me 5 minutes and I'll prove to you that everything that I've said in this report is 1000% true. And I promise you will not be disappointed. So you're going to go to www.brandon, Brandon, it's me, my name, Brandon, growthlab.com/more leads. Okay. You're going to get this presentation. Well, it's a version of it that is an earlier version of it, along with the PDF that has all of the examples in here with the conversion equation and all that kind of good stuff in there. And I have some other fun, fancy things that are on the thank you page as well. And you're going to get the opportunity to book a call with me should you choose to do so for that brief consultation to where you can discuss the free funnel build. Now, let me be clear. These funnel builds, they take some time to build. Okay. I can't do it for everybody. Okay. As much as I would love to help everyone, okay, I can't. I cannot help anyone. Okay. I don't have it here on the slide, but I'm only doing this for 3 people. Okay. As of right now, if you between now and the end of February. Okay. So you have plenty of time between now and the end of February. First 3 people that reach out to me will get this offer. Okay. For the free funnel build. Because it's going to take me a couple weeks to build them. Okay. They're going to be done right. And they're going to be done proper. And you're going to love them as long as you do what I tell you to do with them. Okay. So again, 3 people. That's all I'm looking for. 3 free funnels, lead generation funnels, simple opt-ins for an offer that you may have that I can help you revamp. And we'll teach you how to drive the traffic to it, throw some ad dollars behind it, and we'll be able to rock and roll. So if that is what you want to do, like if you're on this call now, you're watching this video now, and it's not the end of February yet, you can either comment leads in the comment section below, or again, go to brandongrowthlab.com/more leads, and we will start the discussion on what you want to do to conquer local market with this free lead generation system. Okay. So that's it, folks. It's plain and simple. I'm here to help you out. I want to see everybody succeed here in 2026. Here to help out, 3 people between now and February 28th with this system. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. I will answer them. Promise you this. And with that, I bid you adieu.